Hey guys, today I'm going to continue my F1 2012 career mode. I'm going to race in Bahrain for round 4 of the season, and now we are looking at the Drivers' Championship, which is led by Jensen Button. Then we have Lewis Hamilton in second, Sebastian Vettel in third, Raikkonen in fourth, Massa fifth, Perez sixth, Alonso seventh, Kobayashi eighth, and Nico Rosberg in ninth, and Webber in P10, who had a pretty rough start to the season. I mean, he only scored 13 points in 3 races in a Red Bull, so yeah, that's not ideal. Grosjean is P11 for Lotus. Then we have Schumacher, Maldonado, and Paul Di Resta is the last point scorer so far. Hülkenberg is 15th, Vergne and Ricciardo is 16th and 17th, and Bruno Senna is 18th, and I'm in P19, followed by the two Caterhams, De La Rosa P22, Glock, and then Kartikeyan is in last place. And now we are looking at the Constructors' Championship. So McLaren has a pretty comfortable lead over Ferrari. Then we have Sauber, Red Bull and Lotus, and I mean, look at how close they are. 4 teams fighting for the second place so far. Mercedes is P6, Williams and Force India is only in P7 and P8, Toro Rosso P9, Marussia P10, Caterham and HRT P11 and P12. I mean, so far we have been doing well. We are ahead of both Caterham and HRT, which is the goal for the end of the season. So I'm in qualifying right now, and as you can see, the track is wet because we have the intermediate tires out. It also rained in the practice session, so I don't really know how or why. It's a possibility that it can rain in Bahrain. I mean, we are in the middle of the desert, so it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. So just under 4 minutes remain of the first qualifying session, and as you can see, the track dried up to the point where I can put on the slick tires, although it's difficult to heat up the tires. And I'm about to start my first flying lap. So I'm going to complete my first flying lap in a second, and I'm P18, only under a second from Lewis Hamilton, who is the last driver who will make it into the second phase of qualifying. And I'm only just under a second away from him, which is pretty good. The track is drying really quickly as I finish my second flying lap, and I make it into Q2 so far with P17, around half a second faster than Lewis Hamilton's time. So this is my third flying lap, and I'm at the first sector, and I'm 3.5 tenths faster than my previous flying lap. Coming up on the second sector, or at the end of the second sector, and I'm still around a tenth quicker than my fastest lap, but unfortunately, as you can hear, I ran out of fuel, and I was even quicker than Sebastian Vettel's time by almost over 4 tenths, so if I could have finished my lap, there was a big chance I actually make it into Q2. So I'm just going to roll over the finish line, and well, yeah, as you can see, if I just put one more lap of fuel into my car, I would have been able to finish the lap, and I would have made into Q2. So yeah, I was really pissed off or annoyed by this, because I don't get many chances with this car, like the only opportunities we can get our qualifying sessions like this when the track is drying up. That's the only way we can make it into Q2, and I messed it up, so yeah, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. Sebastian Vettel also didn't make it into Q2 somehow. I don't know what was going on with him, but yeah, he's going to start tomorrow's race from P18. So as usual, before I start the race, let's just look at the starting grid. Michael Schumacher ends up qualifying first, so he will start from P1. Behind him is Grosjean, Webber, Rosberg is also in 4th place, so the two Mercedes cars are looking really good. Raikkonen 5th, Jensen Button 6th, Alonso 7, Maldonado P8, Lewis Hamilton P9, and Nico Hülkenberg is P10. So Paul di Resta 11th, Felipe Massa didn't make it into Q3. He's going to start from P12. Behind him is Senna, Perez, Ricciardo, Kobayashi, Verne, Vettel, me, and Petrov. I mean, the two Saubers aren't looking too good for this race. I mean, Perez only 14th, Kobayashi is P16th. So I'm away, and as usual, the start is just dreadful. I've lost a lot of positions to the other backmarker teams. Try to brake late to make up some. And trying to be careful not to end up damaging my car. Massa had a really bad start. He's only P17, he started 12th. Vettel makes a bit of a contact with me. He was really brave on the outside. Tried to overtake Ricciardo and Verne, and Ricciardo is going to give up the position now. So coming up on turn 11, and I just completely go off the track, and of course the tires are just not up to temperature yet, so I kind of misjudged my braking point. End of lap 1, and I'm being followed by Ricciardo and Felipe Massa. I move to the inside to defend, although it's pretty obvious that sooner or later they will go past me since they are in a lot quicker cars, but for now I keep them behind me. So lap 3, and Felipe Massa is going to overtake me. He doesn't even need DRS for this, he just did it by slipstream, and I guess he used some cares. So I'm coming up on turn 9 and 10, and I just end up locking the brakes completely and go off the track and lose the position to Ricciardo, so I'm down to P18 now. That corner is really difficult for me because, I'm on a keyboard and I don't have ABS turned on, but I think from the Spanish Grand Prix I will turn it on for my own good, because at that corner I have to brake and steer, so I would have to be really careful on the brakes, but I can't because I'm on a keyboard, so I'm either braking with full force or I don't brake at all. So yeah, it's just a really big problem I had this race. I did this like 10 or 12 times, I don't know. I just kept making that mistake over and over again. So it's lap 8, and let's just have a look at the current standings. So Grosjean leads the Grand Prix ahead of Schumacher. Webber is 3rd, Lewis Hamilton 4th, Di Resta is up to 5th place, Raikkonen is 6th, Rosberg 7th, Button 8th, Alonso 9th, and Senna is P10. Vettel is already up to 11th place, he started from 18th. Sergio Perez is P12, Nico Hülkenberg P13, Felipe Massa 14th, Maldonado 15th, Ricciardo 16th, I'm 17th, Kovalainen P18, Kobayashi, Petrov. So it's lap 9, and I'm getting attacked by Kovalainen. He has his DRS open, but I brake really late to defend my position, and so far he didn't manage to get past me. Still lap 9, and I'm coming up on turn 9 and 10, and I, as usual, go really wide. And as I try to come back really quickly on the track, I end up hitting Kobayashi, and I get a drive-through penalty, which is, deserved, because I wasn't paying attention. I was just trying to get back on the track as quickly as possible. So yeah, I'm already going to lose a lot of time with that. So it's lap 15, and I'm going to make my first pit stop of the race. I'm going to put on a new set of soft tires again. So it's lap 17, and let's just look at the current grid. Grosjean leads the race ahead of Webber and Hamilton. Rosberg is 4th, Di Resta is 5th, he's still doing really well. Schumacher is 6th, Raikkonen is 7th, Vettel is 8th, Button, Massa, Alonso, and Ricciardo. The two Ferraris doesn't really, they're not having a great race, that's for sure. So Perez is P13, Hülkenberg, Maldonado, and Senna is retired. Kovalainen, Kobayashi, me, Petrov, De La Rosa, Glock, Kartheken, and Verne. So the two retirements so far is Jean-Eric Verne and Bruno Senna. After the second round of pit stops, Grosjean still leads ahead of Webber and Raikkonen. Hamilton is 4th, Vettel is 5th, Rosberg is 6th, Di Resta, Schumacher, Massa, Button, Alonso and Perez. Hülkenberg is P13, Maldonado is P14th, Ricciardo 15th, I'm 16th, Kovalainen 17th, Kobayashi, Petrov, De La Rosa, Glock, and Narain Kartikeyan is the last person who is still in the race. So for the past few laps the track has been a bit wet because it started to rain, as you can see. So because of that I kept going on the same set of tires because I was hoping I can switch to intermediates when it gets too wet for the slicks, because my engineer kept telling me that it's going to rain and rain and rain. So this is going to be really problematic later on. End of lap 33 and disaster strike as I get a puncture on the rear right tires as I made my way past the pit stop or the pit lane. So I have to do a full lap on 3 wheels. It's really unfortunate that it turned out this way, but yeah, it's going to get worse. So as I exit turn 8, I get another puncture on the rear, so both of my rear tires are gone, and I lose just so much time with this. It's just insane. I end up almost spinning out. I push somebody off the track, I think. It's just a disaster race. First I get a drive-through penalty, then I get 2 punctures, so it's an absolute disaster. So I come across the line to finish P18. It was kind of a disaster or a disappointing race, getting a penalty and then 2 punctures. But even with those I finished P18, so it's not bad. So Mark Webber wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. He scores Red Bull's first win this season. Behind him is the 2 Lotus cars, with Grosjean finishing 2nd, Raikkonen 3rd, Hamilton finishes 4th. Then we have Vettel, who made a big recovery. He started from 18th and finished 5th. Rosberg is 6th, Schumacher is 7th, Alonso P8, Jensen Button P9, and Felipe Massa ends up finishing P10 to score the last point available. Paul Di Resta, who spent the majority of the race in the point scoring positions, ends up finishing only in 11th place. So he has to be disappointed with that. Sergio Perez is P12. Disappointing race for Sauber, that's for sure, after Kobayashi scored a podium during the Chinese Grand Prix last time. So the rest of the grid looks like Pastor Maldonado finishes P13th, Nico Hülkenberg P14, Ricciardo 15th, Kamui Kobayashi P16, Kovalainen P17, I finish 18th, Petrov P19, De La Rosa, Timo Glock and Narain Kartikeyan also ended up retiring, so my teammate Timo Glock is the last driver who finished the race 4 laps down. So Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship ahead of his teammate Jensen Button by 5 points. Raikkonen is 3rd, but he is only 10 points behind. Vettel is 4th, Mark Webber is 5th, Grosjean 6th, Fernando Alonso 7th, Massa, Perez and Rosberg are the top 10. Kobayashi is 11th and Michael Schumacher is P12. So the Constructors' Championship is being led by McLaren, then we have Red Bull in 2nd place, Lotus 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Sauber 5th, Mercedes 6th and Williams and Force India are the last point scorers so far. Toro Rosso 9th. We are still P10, which is really good. Then we have Caterham and HRT. So this race the pace was actually not bad. I think if I didn't make that many mistakes and if I didn't get the puncture and the penalty, I think I would have been able to finish in P17 or even P16. But you know, P18 is still fine. So yeah, this was the Bahrain Grand Prix, the 4th round of the season. I thank you for watching and bye.